Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. As you see right there, the new NXT champion Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler making a resurrection of himself, being the new NXT champion after defeating former champions Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa. He appears on Miz TV, but like I said in the tweet, a lot of Raw stars are making guest appearances, such as Ziggler and Rude, to help increase ratings, as well as The Miz showing up. Rey Mysterio and Dominic showing up. Ain't Rey Mysterio and Dominic got a feud with The Miz? With Logan Paul at? To continue on the feud. If they was gonna do that, I don't know what they're doing. But we'll get to that. Plus, high and go seat record Jay as she is trying to aim herself to be next NXT Women's Champion. We'll talk about that. Plus two qualifying matches as well as Santos Escobar takes on Cameron Grimes in a North American Championship ladder match. A lot going on. Even reports on Hot Topics as former NXT champion Karrion Kross may be heading to promotion that many people didn't see coming, but he might be heading that way. And then two, we'll get to tribute to Scott Hall and how he impacted NXT in a way. All this and more when the NXT Ring Report starts right now. Hello, everyone. I'm Kendra Dix here. I'm here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. Here we are live and in living color, and we thank you for watching. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show as we present the NXT Ring Report. As you see, Scott Hall, we'll get to Scott Hall later in hot topics on what's going on. But let's kick off with NXT with The Miz making a rare guest appearance on NXT. Miz was on there to welcome to have on his Miz TV show on One Night Only on NXT 2.0, the new NXT champion Dolph Ziggler. Yes, Miz and Dolph Ziggler. We know they had a rivalry way back in the past, Miz and Dolph Ziggler. But now Miz and Dolph Ziggler probably buried the hatchet. But the Miz welcomed Dolph Ziggler to his show. They had a long history feud until LA Knight came out there and said that he wants a shot at the NXT title against the new champion. He wants a crack at it. Well, we know LA Knight and Dolph Ziggler never fought each other for the first time. Miz settled it by making a championship match, and Dolph Ziggler agreed. So it's gonna be LA Knight versus Dolph Ziggler later on in the show. Could LA Knight dethrone Dolph Ziggler on his first week as being NXT champion? Also, too, Santos Escobar took on Cameron Grimes. We know Cameron Grimes, Santos Escobar are vying to be in that North American ladder match. You remember that North American ladder match a couple of years ago in NXT during WrestleMania week, where Ricochet, EC3, Lars Sullivan, and a couple of others stole the show. Adam Cole, I think he won the match to become the inaugural North American champion. But I can tie that into Scott Hall. Scott Hall won the Intercontinental Championship. The North American Championship is considered like the Intercontinental Championship of now, but NXT's version of a secondary title. And a fan made an interesting point that why not put the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship? I don't think they're gonna do it because they ain't got enough people. But who knows what WWE might be thinking, but I can see that. But I think NXT will probably give you more choices and stuff. But we see Santos Escobar and Cameron Grimes battle it out, duke it out to see who's going to advance into the NXT North American Championship ladder match. And Santos Escobar did so by winning. Well, Santos Escobar gives himself an opportunity to advance into the North American ladder match. But on an interesting note, Santos did win, but Santos got met before the match by Rey Mysterio and crew. Rey Mysterio and Dominic making a rare appearance on NXT. Could we see Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar down the road? I think so. It's gonna be an exciting matchup. Ray trying to get all the matches he can get. I don't know when. Then they said they saw Dominic backstage, so Dominic was right backstage. So I could see it. I could see Rey Mysterio going against everybody. He went against Andrade. He went against Eddie, Alberto Rio. Ray's trying to help the new stars get over, and Ray saying that Dominic will be the one to carry on the Mysterio name. And then Dominic didn't look too bad neither in NXT. Dominic might have to reconsider to go to NXT. I'm not knocking him going to the main roster, but I can see Dominic in NXT probably, doing something to hone his skills, hone his craft. I could see that by Dominic. But, time will tell. But it was a good appearance by Rey Mysterio. It's like a numerous Raw stars are coming in and trying to help increase ratings. Speaking of new blood, A Kid made his debut against Kushida. A Kid, the NXUK sensation, made his NXT debut, 2.0 debut, and he did so by defeating Kushida in the win. And A Kid gets rewarded that probably A Kid could be heading to Dallas right here. A Kid could go against the arrogant and cocky Grayson Waller next week. Who's going to advance to that? Will the upcoming rising star get to the cocky heel and continue his momentum? And then we see right here on the other side, on the left side, Cindy Sokola versus Roger Strong. I think they're gonna pick a veteran, so you might see that. You never know. Roger Strong might be the one. So next week, 2 qualifying matches for the North American Championship to advance to Stand Delivery and NXT Dallas. So which one of these 4 men will advance going to Dallas? We'll see on that one. We'll see. It was a great picture. Tommaso Ciampa made a rare appearance on NXT, and he was talking about being Tommaso Ciampa until Tony D'Angelo came out there, and him and Tony D'Angelo had some words. So we know next week Tony D'Angelo and Tommaso Ciampa will fight at Stand and Deliver. So we'll see that heading towards the way. Plus two, Rey Mysterio went against not Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio was in Dominic's corner in his match against one of the La Familias, and Dominic won with a distraction. So Dominic picking up the win. Like I said, I can see Dominic in NXT, honing his skills and getting better at time and time. So you never know with Dominic. Plus two, the tag team situation. Tag team situation is getting better as the Creed brothers wants to know who attacked him. Well, we know that MSK, who's trying to pay tribute to Scott Hall with the NWO T-shirt and stuff, they want a crack at the tag team titles, but Imperium came out there and said that they want to take on both teams. So it's going to be a triple threat match at Stand Deliver between these 6 men and 3 teams competing for the tag team titles. So we'll see that at Stand Deliver. Can Imperium stay the strongest tag team in NXT? Well, time will tell on that one. Plus two, Tiffany Stratton getting mad and upset. She was trying to get her hands on Saray from not her transforming to a Sailor Moon or something. Well, she tried to get her hand and still lost to Saray, and she was doing a temper tantrum. She got mad, upset. I'm like, is you a baby? And she was so mad that she was wanting to cry to her mama, whoever, her dad. So, this ain't far from over, not yet, by a long shot. So Tiffany Stratton got the real strategize now on how she's going to implement her plan going forward. Also, too, Cora J trying to play mind games with Toxic Attraction by trying to play hide and go seek. She tried to trap all 3 members around, and they all started with Cora J trying to steal their championships to play a cat and mouse game or something like that. It ended up being that way. And Core J tried to do that in one worst way possible. Well, Core J had got payback from Toxic Attraction, and now we know Mandy Rose will defend her NXT Women's Championship against Core J at Stand and Deliver. So Core J gets her shot at the women's title at Stand and Deliver. So we'll see that match. Plus two, what else had happened? The championship match. We know Ziggler defended his title against LA Knight. LA Knight did put up a fight against Ziggler, but at the end, well, at the end, LA Knight lost, and Dolph Ziggler now turns his attention to Braun Breaker. These two will meet for the NXT title. And Braun Breaker said he didn't lose his championship at Takeover at NXT, so Braun Breaker gets a shot at the NXT title. So Ziggler will defend. This was his first championship. When he gives an indication like that, Ziggler just a transitional champion, so he can give it back to Breaker. That's all it. Plus two. Before I finna go, before the NXT Ring Report ends, this right here is is a love fest, and we for love and happiness, but Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis, well, Indy went against a partner, Persia, and them two came together came in the same entrance, and then tried to fight each other. I guess they were doing it for time constraint, but at the end, it got weird and awkward as Indy kissed Dexter. I guess that's her husband. You get that. Persia started kissing forgot his name. The Duke Hudson, and started kissing out. And then Indy started ripping who her husband's shirt off and started laying on the ground. Then Persia did the same thing with Hudson. I mean, I get that. Get a room. Please get a room. We know you want to do the thing, but get a room, please. Please get a room. All right. That is the NXT Ring Report. Like I said, in next week's NXT, you're going to have two North American Championship qualifying matches. A-Kid takes on the arrogant Grayson Walker. Can the upstart A-Kid do the impossible and defeat Grayson Walker, who had momentum on his side when he defeated LA with Knight? And can Solo Sakai overcome Roger Strong? We just have to wait and see on that one. All right. That ends the NXT Ring Report. Let's move over to Hot Topics. On Hot Topics this week, we're still talking about grieving the loss of Scott Hall. We know Scott Hall passed away yesterday. Scott Hall, a legend among legends, and Scott Hall was the bad guy, a legendary wrestler who was a trailblazer, who was a pioneer. He won the Intercontinental Championship. He was in most of WWE iconic moments and matches. Who can forget 1994 in WrestleMania 10 when he became the undisputed Intercontinental Champion? That was a WrestleMania moment. His different incarnations. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, going to do different wrestling promotions. Wrestling in WWE, NWA, WCW, Impact. Scott Hall done it all. So Scott Hall, a living legend. A lot of more wrestling personalities like Ethan Page, paying tribute to Scott Hall. Scott Hall did the thing, and then we talked about that someone wants the Intercontinental Championship match for this year. If Ricochet has one, be a ladder match, and I don't know Scott Hall. Well, we just wait and see what they're gonna do. It's never too late, but I think they're going with that forward with Ricochet gonna team up with a New Day to take on Sheamus and his crew. But I think the NXT version with a North American Championship might do that, pay tribute to Scott Hall. It makes sense. So we'll look for that. Also, too, former NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez
out the 4 to 6 week for undisclosed injury. So hopefully, Raquel Gonzalez, um, do you know get comes back with a speedy recovery, and she come back stronger than ever. Also, too, what is people in the internet wrestling community went crazy after they saw Cody Rhodes. They was thinking Cody Rhodes was going to make his debut on Raw in Jacksonville. That didn't be the case. So a lot of the internet wrestling fans are still upset and mad with Cody Rhodes, and they got a bone to pick with Cody going forward and that. Speaking of champions, former NXT champion Karrion Kross, now known as Killer Kross, now he's set to make his debut back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's gonna make a debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Karrion Kross, I don't know why WWE got rid of, but I mean he's an unbelievable talent, and they WWE just let him go like that. Um, I don't know what's going on with WWE giving rid of a person like that who got the credentials, the ability, the talent, the charisma, the mere presence. He had that entrance, and I guess WWE didn't know what to do with him. I wouldn't know what to do with him, but hey, if I was the booker, it'll be different. But Karrion Kross set to make his debut on NXT. I've been a big fan of Karrion Kross way before he got into WWE. And I kind of knew they weren't gonna do right by him, but it ended up being that way. So you know how they go. So good luck and congratulations to Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Speaking of that, NXT no AEW supposed to have Dynamite in the Forum. I mean, you might know what the Forum is, the one that the LA Lakers used to play. Um, they say the Forum was almost sold out by 98%. Except Dave Meltzer said that the WWE tried to sell out the Forum way back in the day, a couple of years ago. They couldn't sell the Forum out. They had about almost 3,000 people inside the Forum. But AEW almost got 12, almost got 12,000. That's a 10. That's like a double difference, if you ask me. But we'll see when AEW comes to the Forum. Supposed to come to the Forum sometime this spring, so we'll see. Also, too, yeah, okay, yeah. Also, too, Bret Hitman Hart. He talked about Scott Hall. Talked about they weren't friends, and he said Scott Hall and him had their tremendous matches way back in the 90s, especially in the mid 90s. Who can forget? Brett even made mention of it about the 1993 year when him and Scott Hall, earlier through that year, Scott Hall and him wrestled for the WWE title. What a memorable moment that was. I watched that match over and over again. You can learn something from that match, Bret Hart, Scott Hall. Even the King of the Ring match that he had with Scott Hall. I can remember Bret Hart and Scott Hall. Even Bret Hart missed perfect. So I kind of know a little bit what had happened then, but it's kind of like you kind of pick your moments and pick. I remember that match. So Bret Hart had fond memories to say about Scott Hall. And Scott Hall time when he was wrestling Bret Hart for the WWE title. And finally, and many of you might know that MLW is suing WWE for antitrust practices. Basically, antitrust mean that MLW believes that they couldn't get a fair deal or they couldn't set up a deal to get monetized. Saying they was trying in the Virgin talks with Vice and Tubi. They said WWE ruined the Tubi deal because Tubi is owned by Fox and Fox shows WWE SmackDown. And WWE counter trying to say dismissed the complaint, saying the MLW doesn't have the evidence to show that had happened. Well, it kind of got a point where if you could have done it prior before AEW came, but now AEW has a TV rights deal. I mean, just depending on who you know. And Tony Khan, you don't see him suing WWE. Um, I don't know. It's going to get dismissed because it just don't have no nothing to stand on. To be honest, I like MLW. It's growing, but it's just ain't enough name. It's not growing. It's growing, but it's still stagnant. It might need TV. It might need a streaming deal. They got to go harder. I mean, like whatever offer and deal they give you, just take it. So if it was like they was on, say for instance, CBS, none of the CBS networks will want them, and they had the option. CBS said you just had to be on Paramount Plus. Just take the Paramount Plus deal, whatever they give you. If they give you $1 million, just take it. It might be a low ball for now, but I guess they want to see, can you prove yourself, and then you come back and say, hey, these are the numbers we did, and WWE can get away with it because WWE has name recognition. MLW trying to get name recognition. AEW got name recognition, but AEW did it so quick by grassroots. But WWE been in the business, been the business for almost 50 years. So MLW, we'll see. But I like MLW. It's a good product. I like Hammerstone as his champion. Richard Holiday stand out. It's a bunch of stars that stand out in MLW. But they just ain't got the exposure they need. But they need to get, like I said, even it's a lot. So you never know. But I don't see this nothing going to happen down the road anytime soon. But WWE's trying to file the myths about MLW. We'll see where this goes and see how it goes far and see how it does that. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Presents the NXT Ring Report. So, for me being Kendrick saying so long, happy wrestling, and we'll see you next time for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.